Hi, and welcome back to the Grace-Based Christian Coaching podcast. I'm Alexander Kevel. I'm a certified professional coach who supports ambitious, high-performing female leaders who are struggling with overwhelm, wrestling with self-doubt, supporting them, and living a more intentional and Christ-centered life and work. So I've got a special bonus episode for you today. If you follow GSCC over on Instagram, if not, go ahead and do it at Grace-Based Christian Coaching. What I'll do on most Fridays is share a little something called Friday Favorites. And if you have, maybe you're familiar with the blog worlds from way back in the day, there would be elements of this. So I loved a good lifestyle blog back in the day. A niche of who I serve through GSCC is content creators, in fact. And so this is a little bit of a nod to that, a little bit of behind the scenes personal connection, things that are fun to share and to know about. So what I do is I share Friday favorites in three core areas: loving lately, lessons learned, and looking forward to. And, it's sometimes challenging to share a little short burst over on Instagram and thought, maybe this could be a fun thing to consider as a little bonus something for the podcast and YouTube family. So we'll do that and let me know. Reply in the comments, send me a DM, send me an email, Alexandra at gracebasedchristiancoaching.com. Let me know how you're liking this. Always love talking with y'all. Okay, so let's do it. Loving lately. Um, I'm going to share a few different angles of this: personal, professional, and fun. And so, as we think about that, loving lately from a work standpoint, it's bananas. This past week was session 6 of 6 with two different Flourish cohorts. So, Flourish is Grace-Based Christian Coaching Small Group Mastermind, where we focus on three core pillars: faith, work, and community, and living life through a God-centered lens. And the session, it was so great, y'all. It's bittersweet that this cohort is wrapped. And like overall, we have logged across 6 different cohorts, 22 of these group sessions. It just blows my mind. Um, you might be familiar with this story, you might not, but Flourish was on my radar zero. It was not something that I had set out to go and do. It was very much a God nudge type of a thing. And so, what my encouragement to you would be is to say yes to the adventure that God places on your heart, even if it seems out of left field, even if you don't know how it's going to come to fruition. It is going to grow you. And it is going to grow and bless his people, even more importantly. And it's just so important to follow those nudges, particularly when it's something that scares you, because it's going to be the best adventure that you go on with him. Okay, so loving lately, personal. So just yesterday, I had a spiritual direction session with my pastor. Spiritual direction, this might be something new to a lot of you. It's all about recognizing and responding to the presence and activity of God in your daily life. A really neat kind of a thing. I had done this years and years ago with someone else, and it was just time for a refresh. And it's kind of crazy because yesterday's session was booked weeks and weeks ago, and the timing for it just couldn't have been more perfect. It's just so nice when those things happen. You truly feel seen and known and loved and cared for by the Lord. But it was such a phenomenal nod to spend some time noticing how he's showing up these days. So I'd encourage you to do the same. Even if it's 5 minutes, just sitting and being still and reflecting on that, it might be some of your favorite time spent the whole week. If you like structure, I get it. A lot of y'all do. I would recommend checking out the St. Ignatius Daily Examine. There are a few different core questions that you can use to reflect on and notice God's presence in your life. All right, and then loving lately from just like a fun and frivolous angle. Occasionally, I will have an afternoon or two each week to go and get some bonus work done. And hopped into Starbucks yesterday, and lavender is back on their menu. I could not be more excited about that. The cold foam, lavender cold foam there is so good. Always like getting it on the side so you can kind of add it as you go so it doesn't kind of all go into the drink at once, and then you can kind of save some too for a drink the next day if you want. Love, love, love me some lavender cold foam. All right, lessons learned. It's been a week. I'm not going to chat specifics on here, but we were going through a situation with our family that ultimately the outcome is good. It's so good. And we're trusting God in it, but it certainly did not play out at all how we had anticipated. And so the lessons learned is that reminding that God's plan, it's always, always higher and better than our own. And honestly, one of the sweet things that he revealed to me was the way it played out being significantly different than we expected. There's actually a greater trust, a greater excitement, a greater certainty and peace, knowing that this is not my plan, but it is God's, and that is good. We read and Flourish as one of our activation exercises, Proverbs chapter 3, verses 1 to 12. Highly recommend taking a moment to do that today or this week. And we did it using the HEAR acronym. So that's H, a highlight. So this is almost like a filter when you go through to read God's word. If sometimes you're like, I feel like I should be picking more up out of this than I am. Try this out. So H is for highlight. What are some keywords? What is emphasized in the text? E is explain, noticing what is revealed about God, what's revealed about his people. A, apply. How are you being called to shift the way you think or act because of what you're reading? And then R is respond. So asking him to help you to apply this truth to your life. How do you want to navigate differently because of what you're learning about the Lord? So enjoy doing that. That was something that was just so sweet for so many of us this week. And then last but certainly not least is looking forward to. Oh my goodness. I have the privilege and honor of working with a coach next week, one-on-one, and the next level of grace-based Christian coaching is about to be unleashed, unlocked. Just get ready. I know deep within my heart that this is going to be significant, and I cannot wait for the growth that is there and the growth that you are going to get to experience and be blessed by. So if you have been on the fence about coaching, now is just going to be such a good time. Such a good time. So, Friday favorites. What do y'all think? Is this a fun and different angle? Let me know. Let me know. Send me a message. And be sure to subscribe for Christ-centered content. Subscribe to our podcast, Grace-Based Christian Coaching Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Join the email family to get centered in what matters most so that you can live out your most intentional and Christ-centered life. gracebasedchristiancoaching.com/subscribe will be where you go to do that. So fun talking with you always. Happy Friday. Have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you here next time.